Have you been thinking of stepping into the world of rimfire bullseye pistol? Today I got 5 tips for you that may make life a little bit easier. What's up, crew? Welcome back to the channel. Just want to remind you, if you like what you see here, to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to click the bell notification, and as always, drop those comments down below. With that out of the way, let's get started with today's tips, starting with tip number 1. Now, unfortunately, tip number 1 is going to require a very expensive piece of equipment. You're going to need a plastic straw. Now, this exercise is very simple. Just make a finger pistol. Then you're going to place that straw between your middle finger and your ring finger, like so. Going to grip it a little bit. You can use your ring finger or your middle finger, either way, to sort of grip it. Then you're going to pull the straw, kink it, pull it over. That'll give you a makeshift trigger for your trigger finger, and you're good to go. Now, this little exercise is really going to help you learn to pull the trigger with as little movement as possible, because in precision pistol, movement is your enemy. So as you're working that straw, watch and feel for movement in your hand. You don't really want any movement in this back part of your hand, and you certainly don't want any movement in your grip fingers. Now, the second tip today is a little exercise to work on our sight alignment so that we can also minimize movement. So let's do a safety check really quick. Here we're, of course, empty. That's why I do not have my eyes on, do not have my ears in. We don't need them. This is not a live fire exercise. So for this exercise, we're going to take our one-handed pistol stance, going to raise our pistol, put it on target, close our eyes, drop the pistol to our side, keeping our eyes closed, move it back up, put it on target, or what we think is on target. Open our eyes, correct, close our eyes, do it all over again. Now, the third tip is something very simple, but it's also something I get asked a lot, and that's, what do you do with your weak hand? Now, you want to be in as relaxed of a position as you can, so you can just drop that weak arm and weak hand down to your side. The problem is, if it's just down at your side, you could have a potential to fidget. That's movement. That's bad. We don't want that. Now, a couple of options I like to utilize is either my arm across the small of my back, or even better, my arm across the small of my back with my fingers in my strong side pocket. That's going to eliminate the potential for an awful lot of movement. Now, tip number 4 is something that I see a lot across many different competitions, and that's follow through. Now, typically there's 2 mistakes that people make with follow through. The first is, as soon as the firearm goes boom, they look to see where they shot. Now, the second mistake I often see with follow through is, as soon as the firearm goes boom, they jerk their finger completely off the trigger. The way I teach proper follow through is as follows. When that firearm goes boom, hold your position. Keep holding the trigger back. Keep your firearm pointed down range on target. Count 1001, 1002. Release your trigger finger to reset, and go again. Now, it's important to note that the lack of follow through can be caused by fatigue. So here's a little bonus tip. Get you a little dumbbell weight, a little bit heavier than the pistol that you're using, and just practice quite a few minutes a day holding that dumbbell straight out. This will help sort of strengthen your arm muscles, your shoulder muscles, get you used to holding that weight steady over time. And finally today, tip number 5, don't be afraid to use some bags as a rest until you get used to your fundamentals. Be sure that when you're using those rests, you're not resting the grip of the pistol on the bags. You're only resting your arm on the bags. Well, there's my 5 tips. If you have any tips, I would love for you to drop them in the comments below. If you're looking for a higher level of engagement, cool content, and awesome perks, then we invite you to jump over to our Patreon page. That's patreon.com/CloverTac. Thanks for watching. Until next time, don't forget to chain fire freedom.